Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first set out to make this video, it was going to be very scripted. I was going to do it in kind of an essay format. But then I thought the only way I'm going to get this video to a point where I'm happy with it is if I'm totally honest. And I feel like when you write a script, you can lie to yourself a lot, and you can, when you're kind of putting things in a list format, it just kind of makes things a bit too unrealistic, and it comes across as inauthentic without that sounding pretentious as hell. If you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. If you don't, I basically just want to make it a bit more casual and kind of have a conversation instead of making it a professional video. Now, I haven't spoken about Need for Speed in a long time. I think the last time I've actually spoken about it in a way like this was when Payback was first released, and that was a long ass time. Reason being, I don't really have much to say. Well, I didn't have much to say about Need for Speed, especially Payback, because it kind of hit me by surprise. I was expecting quite a lot from the game, and I think it just fell so flat that I was kind of disappointed to the point where I was just like, you know what, I don't know what to say about this. I was in shock. Like, it just wasn't what I was expecting. And I know I've said that publicly in different places, but I've never actually said that on my channel, or if I have, I've said it very briefly and kind of just brushed it over. I'm gonna go into detail a little bit of why Payback was such a letdown to me. I'm not gonna go too deep, but I'm gonna kind of go into detail in terms of why, for me personally, it just didn't float. It sank, tanked, dipped quite a lot. So Need for Speed 2015 is where we have to start with this, because that game was weird. It was met with quite harsh criticism, and understandable. But for me, for someone who played Need for Speed quite a lot as a kid, it kind of came home for me. It felt like Need for Speed came back to a point where I recognized it again, and it felt like the brand was going in the right direction. The atmosphere was perfect in that game, but the gameplay fell short, and I think that's where all the harsh criticism has come from, and, you know, completely understand. Now, here's where my confusion comes in, or where I'm confused, or where I just lost any understanding. 2015, Need for Speed 2015, was going in the right direction. Whether you think it was a bad game, good game, mediocre, it was going in the right direction, okay? I strongly believe that it represented the vision of Need for Speed perfectly. But something went wrong, and Payback happened. Because Payback is completely polar opposite to what 2015 was. 2015 was a gritty, car culture infused game that was about showing your ride off and you know, making it yours, and running from the cops. Even though the cops were absolutely shit, they were in there, you know, they had a part in the game, and you could see them all the time. They weren't just in missions, they were always there, you know, and it gave the vibe of Need for Speed to me. So how did Payback happen? Payback was a blockbuster Fast and the Furious clone that looked awful and didn't really fix many issues that the game had prior. And to be honest, I really did have high hopes for Payback. I was really excited because I thought, well, if 2015 is what they're working upon, surely the next game it's gonna be the hitter. It's gonna be the one that's gonna get us. And it just wasn't. And I've never expressed this on my channel properly. I've never really actually sat here and said this, but you know, I really didn't get that much out of Payback. I've played it through twice because I played it on the Xbox and PC, and I didn't really touch the game gameplay wise after that. I played it to make videos with it, and I tried to use PvP a little bit. I tried to play when they added free roam, but that was way too little too late. And I don't know, the game was just a bit of a shocker to me because I was expecting so much. So I guess I've kind of vented a bit, and I could go on for days about what's wrong with Payback, but that's briefly what my issue is and where my confusion is. Now, the question is Need for Speed dead, and can it be revived? Is it dead? No. A brand like Need for Speed can't die. It's too big, and people know it too much and will buy it regardless to if they think it's shit or not. It's like Call of Duty. It's not, you can't kill it. It's too big. Is the personality in danger? Very. It's at a critical point, for me at least. They really need to find themselves. They need to find a comfort spot, and they need to stick with it. Need for Speed has been way too consistent. It's been out for 24 years, I believe now. 24 years! That is a long fucking time, and it's been in so many different forms. And it shows. It's in a very broken state at this point. Can they bring it back? Can Ghost Games, the current studio that work on Need for Speed, bring the game back to form? Definitely. They are talented people, and they show that they give a shit. You know, they tirelessly answer questions from us, and I feel like it's not appreciated enough. Actually, the game is in such a critical state because it's been in so many different hands. It's not a game that's just stayed with the same publishers, stayed with the same developers throughout its entire lifespan. It's changed so many times. It's had so many different leads. It's had so many different lives, and it's reincarnated itself so many different times. It's understandable why it's in such a shattered state. It's broken, and I believe strongly that Ghost Games can actually do that. It's gonna take a lot. I know it's gonna take a huge amount of effort and listening to actually bring the game back to form, but it can be done. You know, I feel like the theme, atmosphere, and just overall vibe of the game is something that needs to be channeled properly, and you know, that doesn't make a game great, but it does make a game. If you don't have an atmosphere and a theme, your game's kind of just all over the place. And if you're not linked to the brand properly, then you start to lose people that were there from the beginning and were there for what you were trying to give them in the first place. And if you take that away, people just start losing interest. Physics need to be fixed. They weren't great in the past two games. I think Payback was slightly more playable than 2015, but I still didn't really like Payback's physics. I still thought I was too planted to the ground. It was like I was on a fucking train railway thing. It just didn't feel like the car was... It felt like the car was on a script almost, and I didn't like that. It felt very just, you couldn't control your car, you couldn't weave through traffic at high speeds, blah blah blah. I could go on for days. Characters and story, they're not really important to me, but I feel like they have a place, and I feel like in Need for Speed especially, the cheesy writing and the cheesy characters have always been a part of it. But there's a thin line between cheesy and shit. I feel like Paybacks was shit. The characters were shit, and the yeah. I apologize to the people that wrote that script, or like the characters, and actually, you know, developed the characters and stuff. It just didn't work. It didn't work for me. I thought it was very mediocre. It just felt like it was trying to be Fast and the Furious. I didn't really get any Need for Speed vibes from it. I just thought this was trash. Just thought it was trash. Car list. Now, for me, the car list it's been okay. I mean, there are cars that are missing, but I feel like the car list has been okay. I wouldn't say it's outstanding or phenomenal, but it's okay. It's not something that stood out as a problem, like the same way physics is a problem, or you know, characters or atmosphere. I feel like the car list is decent. It's okay. It doesn't need touching that much. They could add a few more and take away some cars that we really don't need. But overall, it's okay. I feel like that doesn't really need touching too much. And there's so much more I could go into, but if I'm gonna try and keep this video, I don't want it to exceed 10 minutes. I don't want it to exceed 30. I don't want to keep on going on and on and on because it would be boring. It's just my face. But I feel like I'm getting my point across. Hopefully I'm getting my point across. I just feel like Need for Speed needs to return to form if it's ever going to be successful again, and if it's ever going to, you know, live up to what we know Need for Speed to be. I know I'm speaking for probably everyone who's watching this. You've had a moment in Need for Speed that will always stay with you because it's a game that's been in your life at some point and it's had an impact. Whether it's had an impact on your taste in cars, you probably built your first car in a Need for Speed game. It has a huge impact, and it's washed away over the years, and at this point people don't even look at it as Need for Speed anymore. People write it off as dead, and that's sad to me because Ghost Games are talented people. They're a talented studio. They're very small and capable. So I just feel like if the question is Need for Speed dead, no. Does Need for Speed need to find itself again? Yes, definitely. And on that note, I'm going to leave this video here. I know I went on quite a bit, but I just wanted to kind of get that off the chest. Need for Speed is a huge thing on this channel. It's more or less all I do. So I felt like I had to speak about that. I know that the uploads have been very lackluster lately. I've not been uploading much. I've basically just been uploading like projects and stuff that take quite a lot of time. So I'm gonna try and come a bit more swift with the uploads. So please expect that, because I am very much gonna push myself to do so. On the screen now you'll see videos that you can check out, my website where you can download screenshots and wallpapers and also buy stickers. So yeah, you can do that, or you can not do any of it. And thank you for watching. Peace.